So today I just wanted to talk about Go Ask Alice. This is the 1973 TV film, obviously known as one of those propaganda films, which was basically on the anti-drug message. But honestly, it's one of the better of the films out there. I've seen a few. Yeah, this is definitely a way better story. Obviously, it was based off of a fictitious diary. The person who wrote it obviously was not a teenage girl, and they did not die. You know, so how's that for storytelling? They totally lied. But it was a very effective story. I mean, to some degree, there are numerous people out there who still believe this is true, and it is somewhat of a wake-up call. So I guess you could say it basically served its purpose, or it met its goal, rather. But yeah, I mean, I would say it was a fairly effective story. I remember reading this in my early 20s, and I actually thought it was very well written. It's very moving at times. I think it's a very strong story. But one of the things that I actually really like is the fact that it really seems to draw very well on the insecurities of youth. Alice is very much caught up in fitting in, not standing out. She just wants to be one of the group. And you know, she does things like worry about her weight, worries about her clothes, things like that. You know, just typical teenager things. And, you know, eventually she does fall in with the wrong crowd, but my assumption is she sticks with it because it's the first time that she's ever felt part of something. So obviously it starts off small enough, and then it spirals into something much larger. And we kind of do go through this whole issue of her first just changing in attitude, clothing, just behaving very differently. Her schooling starts to slip. Eventually, at some point in time, she runs away from home. And we do get kind of hints of some sexual abuse, things like that. It's very subtly hinted at in the film, but it's very gritty the way it's handled. It definitely gives a shudder if it's a first-time view and you've never read the book. Obviously, if you've read the book, then you know exactly what they are referring to, which still makes it rather grimacing because you know what happened if you read the book. But obviously, we have one of those somewhat of an almost heartwarming turnaround stories. She comes back home, she gets herself together, but she is now alienated by the crowd that had once accepted her because they don't trust her. She's no longer one of them, so they really don't know what to make of her. And at some point in time, someone does devise a plot to, I guess, get her inebriated or intoxicated once again. That is a rather unfortunate result, as she winds up in a ward or a hospital. And then, of course, we kind of have the almost happy ending. She gets out of there, she goes back to school, she almost gets it together, and then she drops dead. But like I said, I think it's a very well-told story, great character development, great acting. Of course, you do have William Shatner playing the father, and if I remember correctly, it's Andy Griffith who plays the priest at the missionary, where Alice is taken in when she's obviously going through her homeless and running away from home period. And of course, the title is a no-brainer. It draws its name from Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit, of course, Go Ask Alice being one of the lyrics in the song. But yes, I think it's a great story. Like I said, I have not seen it in a very long time. I think it still holds up well. It's a bit dated, clothing-wise period piece, but it's very relatable. You know, they are very human themes that are going on throughout this film. So I think basically, you know, any person at any age, you know, whether or not, you know, exposing a younger person to this film just to kind of teach them of the ills of drug use, or, you know, if you're just a person who just likes nostalgia, you just want to revisit the film because you had seen it in your own youth, or you were just curious, I still think it's very much an enjoyable film, definitely well worth a watch. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today, and I will talk to you later.